Back again this week with MIAA Commissioner Mike Racy. And, sir, thank you for coming on this week. Already fast and furious start to the fall sports season.
Yeah, it's been a good couple of weeks, a good start in really all of our sports. I love these early season matchups, Chris, especially in volleyball and soccer, where we get to our teams get to test how they're doing against other conferences, other leagues, non-conference games, and we're off to a good start.
A couple of those sports that we're seeing a lot of good action from early is women's soccer and volleyball. We know it every year, right? Like there's some top tier programs in the MIAA on the volleyball and soccer side. This year, there's not a heightened, I don't want to call it heightened, but maybe there is more top ranked teams this year. And that's kind of showing just how good the conference is so far, especially when they go to these premier challenges and this non-conference schedules that they have.
Yeah, I think the conference in both of those sports may be a little deeper, Chris, from top to bottom regarding the quality of our programs. I think that's true in football as well. But in soccer, I think there's 4 or 5 schools that are still undefeated, having played multiple matches against other leagues, other conferences, especially in our region. And the same's true in volleyball. I think we still have 3 undefeated teams, one with 2 losses, a couple with 3 losses, and I think we've got volleyball. I know Washburn, Kearney, Northwest, I think are all ranked in the top 10 or near the top 10. UCM is near the top 10 in volleyball. Central Oklahoma's undefeated and receiving votes, and so they're all off to a hot start in soccer. Central Oklahoma's in the top 10. UCM is right there, and it's going to be another great year, I think, once we get into conference play to see how this sorts out. And like we talked about last week, the fact that a school may not win our conference doesn't mean they're not going to go far and deep in the NCAA tournament. They just got to do what they need to do to make our conference tournament, get selected for the NCAA regionals, and then, it'll take care of itself after that.
We've talked about this before too, but I think it deserves to rehash it that, some conferences are known just as football or basketball or volleyball. MIAA doesn't really feel like it's just a one-trick pony type of thing where it's just only known for football or men's or women's basketball or volleyball. It's pretty deep throughout all of them. And we're just talking about the fall sports at this point. We get to winter and spring sports. It's kind of the same story too.
Yeah. I one of the favorite days I have in the office every summer is when we put the new banners up on our windows on how successful we were the previous season. And we put 6 NCAA runner-up or championship banners up this past year, and that that's there aren't a lot of conferences that can say that, even at the Division I level, to have that type of success in multiple sports and from multiple institutions. And it's just what makes this conference so fun is the competitiveness. And MIAA fans, I think they appreciate that about our conference. They appreciate the success. They know how well these students do in the classroom and how they're committed to their communities, but they come out and they support the work that they put in practice and want to cheer them on in competition. And we have the best fans in the country, and they're treated to great competition no matter the sport every week.
Let's kind of turn our attention to week 2 of the MIAA football season. Week 1, off to a fast start. I got to see the instant replay setup. It wasn't used while I was there at Missouri Western, but I guess, was it used at all across the conference?
Yeah, we had 5 different instances, and I think it was in it may have been in every game except the Missouri Western UCO game that it got used. I can't remember, but I know for sure we had five. They were all coaches' challenges. We didn't have any targeting calls. They were all five coaches' challenges. 4 of the calls were upheld, meaning that the official was able to go into the replay booth, Chris, and actually see the play, have a good look at it, understand what the coach was challenging, and to confirm that the right call was made on the field, that there was enough video evidence to support the call that was made on the field. So that happened 4 times. The 5th instance, there was not enough to see on replay. We did not have a good enough view from the sideline camera or the end zone camera to determine whether or not I think it was it may have been a ball placement on a call regarding a first down, and I don't think we had a good enough view to overturn or to confirm the call. And in those cases, the appropriate way to describe it is the call stands. The call on the field stands because there was not enough video evidence to either overturn or to confirm the accuracy of the call. So we're off to a good start. You know, I was in Maryville, and I most of the time I was around the replay tent, just kind of seeing how it worked, and you know, we have a couple of iPads down there that are receiving the plays, and I just wanted to kind of in game action kind of see how it was working, and it's quite impressive. And our supervisor on Tuesday of this week, he filed his report, sent all the plays that were reviewed and looked at to the NCAA. As I mentioned, we're kind of the study group for the NCAA to see if this is the way that replay could work in a cost-effective way at the D2 and D3 level. And I was pretty pleased with week 1. I think we're off to a good start.
Instant replay aside, what do you look forward to most now? Is, you know, week number 2, and we're kind of looking. We're getting, I wouldn't say close to figuring out where things are standing, because I think there's still a lot to shake out with MIAA like there is every year. But what are you looking forward to after, you know, the enjoyment of week 1 kind of suppresses a little bit? Because, like you said last week, it's like Christmas morning. How do you describe week 2 then?
Well, I know that without even looking at the schedule, I know that every week from week 2 to week 11, we're going to have a big matchup. You know, there's a big game. You know, I saw the national poll came out. I think it was yesterday, Chris, the national rankings for Division II football. And we've got 6 schools that are in the top 25 are receiving votes, and they're obviously the 6 schools that won this past week in the MIAA. So and that's just gonna, you know, we're gonna continue to have those important matchups. We've got, you know, a pretty big game this weekend in Kearney, Nebraska. You've got Nebraska Kearney hosting Pittsburgh State. Pittsburgh State, you know, they look pretty good in their first game against a talented UCM team last week. So that's a big game. Fort Hays State, coming off their loss at Northwest Missouri State, will be hosting, you know, probably the team that put up maybe the most electric offensive show this past weekend, Missouri Western. And you know, Hayes, in a losing effort, their quarterback still threw for 300 yards, and so that game on Thursday night this week with Western at Hayes will be a great game. And we've got Emporia State is visiting Central Oklahoma. This is a Thursday night game where Central Oklahoma, Chris, will be christening their new their new football stadium, their new remodeled football stadium. A lot of investment this past year that UCO made on a new turf, a new expanded visitor side section, even a water feature that they've added, Chris, under a new scoreboard. And a lot of this was part of UCO receiving a commitment by the state of Oklahoma to have all of the high school state championship games
Okay.
will now be played at UCO. They've increased their seating capacity to 12,000, and I think they're expecting a nice crowd Thursday night as they celebrate all of the work that's been done on a new stadium. And I know Coach Dorrell's excited to be at a home game and to be leading UCO. So that'll be an exciting game. But as I said, I think just moving forward, every week's going to have those kind of special matchups. Saturday night this week, Chris, I think Missouri Southern is matched up with Northeastern State Saturday evening in Tahlequah. Both programs much improved, and
Yep.
I think that's going to be a great game for folks wanting to watch some MIAA action on the network on Saturday evening. So a lot of good games, a lot of good matchups, and just another football week in the MIAA.
We'll get you out of here on this one because I got to hit the road here in a minute and watch some top 25 volleyball in the MIAA.
You bet.
It's volleyball related, so I'll let you kind of break the news since it's St. Joseph and St. Joe related as well. So kind of encapsulates all of us here a little bit too.
Well, I feel like we need a drum roll, Chris, on this because we are breaking news.
I'll work on that sound effect.
Yeah, breaking news on this podcast. But yeah, we're excited that we'll be announcing tomorrow, in partnership with the St. Joe Sports Commission, that the MIAA Volleyball Championship will be coming to St. Joe in November. I think the dates are Thursday, November 10th through Saturday, November 12th. We'll be bringing our top 8 MIAA volleyball teams to St. Joe, and I know our coaches are excited about staging a championship and really national ranked teams that will be competing for a conference championship at a neutral site, and to do it at a place like the Civic Arena that later this year in March will be hosting the NCAA basketball Elite 8 national championship. I know St. Joe's really excited about hosting this event. We have a 1-year contract, but we've told St. Joe that our hope is things go really well, and after the event we can enter into maybe a long-term agreement. But it's going to be great to be in that venue with really a championship, a first-rate championship experience for our student athletes in November. So, breaking news on the A Game show this week, but we're excited, and all of our fans will see that release on Thursday from the MIAA and also the city of St. Joe.
I could ask you one question on moving at the Civic Arena, and I'm sure he'll hate that his name was brought up, but I know Brett Easley's worked quite a bit as he's in charge of the sports commission. But what really stood out about what Brett has done with the sports commission in a short time? What stood out to St. Joe Civic Arena and what the sports commission is doing that made the MIAA, enter this contract to kind of see if this is a place where we can do long-term tournament at too?
Well, the same passion that Brett brought to Missouri Western athletics, and then also to the MIAA basketball tournament, serving for a long time as our basketball tournament committee chair. I've seen that in his first few months in St. Joe, and the future's bright. He's got great ideas. He's got big plans. We called him in the summer and said, I think there's something we might be able to collaborate and work together on. And without giving Brett too many details, he said, let's do it. Let's figure out a way. Now, where do you need me to help? What do you need me to do? And so we laid out a plan on, bringing 8 teams to St. Joe for an MIAA volleyball championship. And I know he's excited. I think part of the plan for St. Joe is to do some things with the Missouri State High School Activities Association related to volleyball. And this might be a great test on showing others in Missouri and maybe even outside to bring volleyball events like basketball events are coming to St. Joe. So this probably wouldn't happen without Brett's leadership, and we're excited to be working with him again.
Can't wait for that. We still have a couple more months to get to the postseason, but it's fast and furious for volleyball, soccer, football, cross country is off and running. Everything's kind of off and running. Golf is going. I'm going to lose track of sports here pretty quickly. But MIAA Commissioner Mike Racy, thank you for the time as always. We appreciate it.
You bet. Good to see you, Chris.